President Trump is holding the first meeting of his Board of Peace to discuss rebuilding war-ravaged Gaza. It's the board's first meeting since it was formally announced last month in Switzerland.
The White House says more than 20 countries are attending and billions of dollars are pledged, but many of America's European allies have declined invitations to join the board. Some are there now just as observers. Minutes ago, the president spoke about its mission.
What we're doing is very simple, peace. It's called the Board of Peace, and it's all about an easy word to say, but a hard word to produce, peace. But we're going to produce it, and we've been doing a really good job, and some of these leaders that are with us have helped me very much during just this first year.
We're covering all the angles. CNN national security correspondent Kylie Atwood is at the U.S. Institute of Peace, where the meeting is underway, and CNN's Jeremy Diamond is in Jerusalem for us. Kylie, what's expected, do you think, to emerge from this morning's meeting?
Well, what we're hoping for are some more sensitive details on what this Board of Peace is actually planning to do over the course of the next weeks, days, and months here. Obviously, as you guys said, President Trump said that the member nations have pledged $5 billion to reconstruction and humanitarian efforts in Gaza. That's a substantive amount, but of course it's a fraction of the $50 billion that the United Nations says is needed to reconstruct Gaza. When it comes to a stabilization force inside of Gaza, there have been some commitments from Indonesia that they could commit some troops, but that's not a final decision. We'll watch and see if any other countries are going to put troops forth towards that effort. So far, the president has been speaking here for more than half an hour. He has not given any substantive updates on those specifics that I just referenced. And as you guys said, there are a number of countries who are not a part of this board, who declined to join the board because there were concerns about it trying to compete with the United Nations. Some of those countries, however, we should note, did send representatives here to Washington to be effectively observers to see what is going on, because when you talk to diplomats from the region, they say even if the Board of Peace is not necessarily the best vehicle to bring peace to Gaza, it is effectively the only game in town right now. So they do feel like many countries, even if they're not on this board, are going to want to be involved. I do want to point out, Wolf, that this happens amid the dramatic backdrop, obviously, of the U.S. military buildup in the Middle East. And one thing that President Trump just said in his remarks with regard to potential U.S. military action against Iran is that they would be finding out within the next 10 days what the United States would do there. So he's giving us a new time frame for his decision making. We know that the military is going to be in a place where it could launch those strikes against Iran as soon as this weekend, but officials at the White House have told our colleagues that President Trump has not made a decision over whether or not he's going to authorize those strikes that could take place, obviously, alongside Israel. He said, President Trump, today, that there would need to be a meaningful agreement with Iran to stave that off. He didn't provide details, so we'll watch and see what more he says as he continues speaking here.